The raspberry farmers are a resilient bunch, I must say. They do a lot of good work, they're very talented, and they know how to grow these plants, and they're proud of it. The majority of the fruit is destined for process. Traditionally, in British Columbia, we've had 90% of the product go to the process market. Most of our harvesting is done by machine. Without these machines, we'd be hard put to harvest our crops. Not only hand labor is expensive, we just don't have enough of it. For both of those reasons, these machines are indispensable. They call these ones orb rotors, basically kind of vibrate and agitate the plant and shake off the fruit as gently as possible without pulling out the green, but at the same time trying to take off as much ripe fruit as possible. You can manage with 3 people, 1 driver, 1 person inspecting the fruit, and the second person filling the crates and stacking the crates. Well, these machines actually agitate it off with these rods, and the fruit falls onto these plates, and once the fruit drops on the plates, it rolls off onto the lower belts, and the lower belts take the fruit back up to the top of the machine, and that's where the workers can inspect the fruit, and if they find something that shouldn't be in the fruit, they pull it out. So they try to make sure the fruit is clean, and at the end of the inspection belt, the fruit rolls onto berry crates, we call them flats, before unloading onto a truck. And the trucks, of course, transfer the fruit quickly as possible to the packing plant to maintain quality. Food safety is very important, so it's a very elaborate program that you have to go through. These programs, at one time, they might seem onerous, but once you have them in place, you see the benefit of these programs.
Every grower that ships to a facility in British Columbia has to have a contract and has to be able to demonstrate that they use good agricultural practices. And so each raspberry processing facility would go out and meet with the grower, check out their field, do an audit, and then allow that grower to ship to them. At our facility, we have various grades of raspberries. We have what we call a juice grade, we have what we call a jam grade, and then you get what we call high-end red raspberry, which can either be individually quick frozen IQF red raspberry, or you get what we call straight pack. And so for our higher end jam guys, this is exactly the kind of red raspberry they're looking for. It's got great color, it's dark, the drupelets all stay together, there's no mold, it keeps its form, it's nice size, and it's very flavorful. It's just absolutely a beautiful fruit. So when they come in on the scale, they're weighed, and then they're offloaded, and then there's people inside that will assess the grade as we get going into the processing of it.
We have a lab that does our quality control, that does all of the sampling to the customer's specs. Each customer has their specification of what they want to see in the product when it's finished product. So we follow their sheets and take samples every 15 minutes to half an hour to make sure that we're complying with their spec. The lab techs, they go out and take a 1 pound sample, and with that 1 pound sample they break it down on their observation board to make sure that it's all conforming with what's on the spec sheet. Then they document what they have found. If they're, say, looking for bricks, they'll blend it up and they'll put it on a refractometer, take a look in there, see what the bricks are, and if the bricks are within the limit, then we keep packing for that customer and carry on. So the first station would be the dumping stage. So that's where the employee takes the flats and dumps them into the shaker cleaner conveyor. After that, it flows into like a water bath with a spray rinse at the end that takes off anything that maybe was inside the berry, on top of the berry, gets it completely clean. And then after that point, it carries on to a conveyor belt, which gets the final visual inspection from about 6 to 8 employees. They're looking for maybe stems, any foreign material that might not have come out in the blowers, leaves. Usually by that point it's pretty good. After that they fall into whichever container the customer wants us to put it in.
We've got specific lines set up for either straight pack or for jam, or for juice. Based on that, that determines how we pack the fruit. So if it's straight pack, it'll go to one line. If it's jam, it'll go to another line. And if it's a juice grade product, it'll go to another line.
It depends what the customer's looking for. If they're looking for like a whole straight pack, that means like it's whole berry and they want it in its whole form. So that just pretty much goes into a pail or a drum.
We hopefully get as much straight pack as we can. If we don't, then we go to the jam quality, and then from there down to the juice quality, right? But all of it's absolutely unaltered red raspberry.